So my message for today is be mindful of the company you're keeping. A lot of times we don't realize how much of an impact that the thoughts and actions of others can have on our lives. Like, for example, you can set your mind to doing something and then you can be talked out of it easily by friends and family. And you won't even realize that the thing that changed your mind is not even a thought that you had. It's a thought or a fear that somebody else had that they put on you. You have to be careful not to let other people's thoughts and fears affect the way you live your life. Other people do not have the same vision as you. You have to remember that the thoughts that you have were given to you for a reason. Other people may not understand, and that's okay. They don't have to understand. It's not for them to understand. It's for you to understand. They may be afraid to do this thing because they weren't given the vision. The vision was given to you. Truth is, other people may not be able to do what you do, or to hear out other people's concerns and take them into consideration. But you should not be basing your final decision off of how somebody else feels, because the other person is not living your life. You are the only person that's living your life. So you ultimately have to make your own decisions. Take everything into consideration while you're deciding what's best for you. But you have to remember that you are the one that has to decide what's best for you at the end of the day. Nobody else can do that for you. It doesn't matter how many people you consult. Like, I know personally, like, I like to ask my mom for advice about things, but at the end of the day, she's not the one who has to do things. So how am I going to take everything she says word for word and follow it word for word and not do any thinking for myself? Like, that's stupid. We're all individuals, so we have to individually come to our own conclusions. Like, you should be seeking out help if you're not sure about things, but do not just take what the other person said as the final decision. You have to learn how to make your own decisions. And I think it's also important to be mindful to not operate from a space of fear and confusion when you're making your decisions. Like, I think I said this yesterday. I'm pretty sure I did. It's perfectly normal to be in a state of confusion or fear. You're human. Like, you don't know how to do everything straight away. There's going to be some fear and frustration, confusion, whatever, when you're starting something new. That's perfectly normal. But make sure you're not living in that space. Make sure that your fear is not holding you back. Make sure your fear is not allowing you to talk yourself out of doing things, because you have to do things that make you uncomfortable. You have to do things that make you scared if you ever want to grow. So I guess with all that being said, you need to be mindful of the type of people that you are keeping around you, because the people you have in your immediate circle have a big effect on the way that you think and the way you live your life, whether you realize it or not. If you're somebody who's interested in growth, but you're only hanging around people who operate in a space of fear, they don't want to take a chance on anything, they just always want to do what's comfortable all the time, then you're most likely going to end up staying in a space of fear, and you're not going to take a chance on yourself. You're not going to get the things done that you should be getting done. Now, I'm not saying to just completely cut off the people in your life who don't operate on that frequency, but you do need to be mindful about who the new people are that you're bringing into your life. You should be trying to put yourself around people who have a growth mindset, who have the mindset of, okay, I'm scared to do this thing, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because if you aren't putting yourself in those types of spaces with people who can relate to what you're doing, then how do you expect to operate in that space? You're not going to operate as your highest self if you're only hanging around people who are comfortable where they are. Get around people who aren't afraid to be uncomfortable, because they're going to push you to do better. You need people who are going to push you, not people who are going to convince you to stay comfortable. Get around some people who can help you learn something new. Get around people who can help you change your mindset. Like, people who are providing you with valuable information that is going to help you on your journey are more valuable than people who are comfortable where they are and don't want anything more for themselves. Like, a lot of times people will sit around and they'll talk about haters and blah, blah, blah. And you don't even realize that the people you hang around on a regular basis are your real haters. They don't want you to excel because they are afraid to excel themselves. So they want to hold you back. They don't want you to be out here seeking information that's going to help you out, because they don't know how to do it for themselves. And it may not even necessarily be intentional. Like, they may not be intentionally trying to sabotage you, but they're doing it anyway because they're living in a state of fear. They don't know how to push themselves to be better. And they see you trying to push yourself to be better. And they like, hold on, you can't leave me behind. And like, I don't know how to do that, so I don't want you to do that. And like I said, it may not even necessarily be intentionally malicious, but they'll do it anyway. Like, if you constantly find yourself trying to motivate the people that you hang around on a regular basis and they aren't being receptive to what you're saying, It may not be because they don't want to see you win or they don't want to see themselves win. It could just be because they're too afraid to take any action, and you can't let them hold you back. You have to put yourself in different spaces, and maybe they'll catch up, maybe they won't. But regardless of if they decide they want to change themselves or not, you still have to take the steps to do what you need to do. You can't let other people hold you back from following your mission, your journey. You have to take care of yourself first. So unfortunately, that may mean that you can't have the same friends. You can't hang around the same family members. That doesn't mean that you should cut them off and you should not love them anymore or whatever, but it does mean that you need to put yourself first. So be mindful of who you're keeping around you and the things that they are saying to you, because if you're putting yourself around the wrong people, or if you're keeping yourself around the wrong people and not seeking out the right people, then you may never become the version of yourself that you want to be.